Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who quick news video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my hopes for the 60th anniversary, which will be based off of the rumours, the official announcements and what we've learnt from the behind the scenes filming. Just a heads up, there are going to be a couple of spoilers, so if you haven't been keeping up with all the behind the scenes details of what's going on for the 60th, I'd recommend skipping this one. But if you're interested, before we start the video, I'd just like to say, if you haven't already, please support the channel by hitting subscribe, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and you can find and follow me on Twitter here. For the current most popular rumour about what's going to occur for the 60th, that being that the 13th Doctor is going to somehow turn back into the 10th Doctor, I'm hoping we get the version of this particular scenario where multiple Doctors are involved and it isn't just the 10th Doctor. I've heard a rumour which I really like, currently it's unconfirmed, that during the centenary, 13's briefly going to turn into the 5th, 6th and 7th Doctor, and thus sort of set up this idea that the Doctors can temporarily turn back into their past selves. I'm hoping that if this is true, and we are getting 3 specials that focus on this concept, each special focuses on a different Doctor. So the first one is a present day Earth story with the 10th Doctor reuniting with the Nobles, 11 in the past meeting the Ponds again, and possibly the 12th Doctor if Capaldi is lying about him not wanting to come back, which I personally hope he is, meeting up with either Bill and Nardole or Clara, or all of them. I do think it's probably the most satisfying version of this scenario, as it technically means that this is a non-conventional but still very much a multi-Doctor story, and is done in a way which acts more like a reunion, rather than having the Doctor and companions being brought out from a random point during their time in the show. Have it be from later on, so they can essentially show how much they have changed and what they've been up to since we've last seen them. And if this is the case, you can technically count the centenary as a prequel, thus meaning that the story technically has up to 8 or 9 Doctors, depending on, again, if Capaldi or possibly McGann are involved, compared to the main rumour, which I'm really hoping isn't true, that being the specials are just 3 that focus on Tennant, that are just going to take place on present day Earth. It doesn't sound that exciting, and it would mean that only 2 Doctors are really involved, that being of course Tennant and presumably at the end Ncuti. I also think I prefer this option of there being some sort of condition or ability the Doctor gets which temporarily allows them to turn back into old Doctors, rather than Tennant just being the 14th Doctor for a bit and then Ncuti is the 15th. I don't like that idea. This way he technically isn't playing a new incarnation, it's the old incarnation, just being allowed a new chance at life, I suppose. On the subject of Yasmin Finney, who is set to play Donna's daughter Rose, I'm curious to see whether she's going to be sticking around beyond the 60th or if she's just a one-off character. There are rumours that she's potentially being a companion, which I wouldn't mind seeing, though given that what we've seen from filming, where it seems that she, along with Sylvie and Donna's husband Sean, do seem to say goodbye to the Doctor. I think we've actually seen the farewell, which is why I'm a bit more hopeful about the multi-Doctor version of this story, if we've already had their goodbye scene shot. So the fact that she doesn't go with him leads me to believe that maybe she isn't going to be the companion, though I suppose she could always come back. It's difficult to say. I'm not sure how much the 60th is going to tie into Series 14. I imagine it's going to be quite standalone. Also, having another present-day Earth 20-something companion is something I was really hoping that they'd avoid. I suppose a non-conventional companion is still on the cards, though it'll be probably like Jack and Nardo, where they're kind of a secondary companion or introduced later in the season rather than being the main one, which is fine as long as we do get some type of experimental companion at some point in this era. Either way, I'm looking forward to see what kind of role she takes in the show, whether that be one-off or as a regular. So what do you guys think of this idea? Do you think that the prospect of other Doctors being involved is still likely, or are we just going to be with Tennant for 3 episodes? And do you think that is a better or worse idea? Let me know some of your other hopes for the 60th anniversary and possibly Series 14 as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.